No, I was 22.
Okay, by then you were
Because they look
22.
for immigrants, you had to be 22 years old. That's
Okay,
why the major
okay.
could not come, because he was 1 year too young.
Okay.
So when I got through, one test was perfect. I mean, I say, oh, I'm lucky. I made one test. The second test was a medical. You know, they look at you up from A to Z, that you're okay and everything. Plus, you have to give a sample of your urine. And since this trick of the urine, I know if it's funny or not, but one time I had a job on a ship that I got, and I was not able to go because they check it out and they say it was something, albumin or something, and I was sure that I'm not going to make it. And so I got this medical, and this is no lie, and it's funny, but it's true. I ask, you know, I say, here I am, I have to give a sample. And I say, I was scared to death. And I asked the guy in the back, I said, could you please? He said, oh, I don't have enough for me, or he was scared or something. I say, oh my God. Anyway, it went okay. I think that the test I did before to have the job on another ship was more strict than one was now. And it was okay. And the third test was you were in front of the vice president, this council, and he would give you a screen, like a check on you to see what you were good for.
Maybe psychological too.
Yeah, and with me there was two guys. One was in medical school, and one was a mechanic. And no one was farmer, neither one. And in front of him, I was never expect that. I never thought that's going to happen, something like this. I don't know if he was in bad humor or why he felt like he found that we are like cheating or tell too many stories or something. And I remember that what he said. He said, do you have any other proof that you are a farmer? And the guy said, well, I don't know if he said, put out all the paper, your ID and everything. And he picked it up, and you see one is a medical school, the other one was in the shoe factory, and I don't remember what he said to me, but he said, I don't buy this one here. And I remember the word he said. He said, to be what you are and go work in a farm, he said, it's not a shame. It's okay. But I said, when you're lying and you tell me a story, I don't like that. And I never was expecting that he closed the passport and he said, you can go home. You're not going anywhere. In other words, he refused to give me the final okay of the test.
Oh my God.
And he say, I mean, I didn't know what I'm going to start crying or I felt devastated. I said, when he told me you could not go, and I say, I'm not going to give up, just easy like this. And I said, the other two guys, let's go and ask him and beg him to reconsider, you know, what we did so far, just to go away. And I remember Livio and the other guy, that he was in medical school. I said, forget it. The way he said, we go home, I say, I don't want to have no. I say, I didn't give up. I wait maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, until I can sneak back in the office with him. And I wait and I wait. They had like a guy in the front. Somehow I was able to sneak just by myself, go in. And I can see him, he gave me a look like, and I was in one corner waiting like that, and he dealt with another couple, he gave him the okay. And then I approached him again. I say, look, the fact that I say that I was a farmer, and I say I prove it, that I really work, I made the school, I learned English, I say, for this purpose. And I say, and he looked at me, you know, and he was looking at me and listening to me, and I said the fact that we did all this thing here you know, get so far. I think that he resents a little bit the way he told us to not to you know, that he was not giving the visa. I think he probably regret. I can see, because he was listening to me, and I said the fact that I work hard. I say I have paper to work, that I was working as a stevedore. I say you don't see me maybe big, but I have a proof that I work the most heavy job that you can get. And somehow the guy, he started listening and listening, and oh my God, I say, if he's listening, I said, there's a silver lining. I said, maybe I'm gonna do it. And then he looked at me with a little smile, and he said, okay, you're okay. And then he got my paper. I just could not believe it, you know. And he gave me the okay. And I wait another half an hour, because it was around noon, and they go for lunch. And I remember, like today, they came down, you know. I still remember, he had a red spot, which I saw him in Montreal when I got back after.
Really?
But this guy, I mean, he smiled, he say, oh, it's okay. And like I was saying, when you go out for lunch, I say, could you tell me, please, really, is that true that you got, yeah, I say, you're okay. He said, I mean, I was the happiest man. Then right away I told those two guys, and I don't know the fate of how they did, but somehow they pardoned them, or they got, so we all got.
Oh, you all got to go.
Yeah, so we all got passed. That was a tough test. I think another audacious thing that I did for my age and being small like that, when the American people, in English, they occupied, you know, they came in Trieste, they was transporting gasoline, you know, I think it's a 5 gallons, I don't see, they got a tank of 5 gallon, and I know, we know the truck that they were carrying on, and when they go up the hill, they slow down. So we were able kind of to pretend that we cross the street, go back, jump on the truck, this is one of them, with one hand get one 5 gallon thing and put it while it was running.
Oh my God.
And was running and throw it down on the floor, I swear to God. I did about 2 times this way, but it was kind of audacious, you know. I say, hey, you're hungry, but, you know, I know sometimes they were, one time one guy, he go on, he start to unload 1, 2, 3, 4, and the guy, he saw in the mirror, he stopped, he came up with the rifle. And there was, I don't know, sometimes you talk things like this, you say, how in the world you did things like this? But you got to be in a place where time and a situation right. to understand. Otherwise, you don't understand. We don't, I don't say we're starving in a way that you really need, because, you know, with little soup, like my mom, she knew how, and I was going out by, like on a black market. I was the one for the family that had this role to provide the food. I used to go with a bike, like, you know, when was the time in wartime, I would have go out and buy food, because you can buy cheaper from the farmers, and things like that. But it was a kind of survival. We were not, we cannot say that really we starved or something. We always had something to eat. There was a few times that my mom say, you know, there was nothing to eat, and left over, and say, go to sleep so you don't think about. But it was, we was to go in some drawer and get some, like old bread, sometimes we keep, you never throw them away, anything like that. And I remember that was a little hard. And do, what do you say? Do like the Roman do, no? When
in Rome, do like the Romans do.
It's a strange, and sometimes it's sad and happy that you survive. One good thing that I say, it comes out with all the problem or the misery that you had, the thing that you learn to appreciate what you got, you know, and you say, how in the world, you know, how in the world could be this disparity of something? You know, when we live in Canada, we had a nice house. We had a nice, decent house, but we had one bathroom, right? We were laughing. And when I came to the States, I remember in 1963, we were trying to buying a house over here, and there was this couple in a house, and they showed the house, and they say they got 2 bathrooms. And I said, well, why they have a 2 bathrooms? Is it 2 people? I mean, it was kind of funny. And she said, oh, I don't know. What we would do is very handy, you know. This is the 2nd bathroom. I never saw a house with a 2 bathroom. You know, what kind of people need bathroom?
When you grew up and there was 1 bathroom for the whole apartment building outside.
But it was not for the family. There was 2 neighbors. Like they had a right to use the bathroom to do. It's sad and funny, but you know, this is the way.
The way it was.
The way it was. So. You know, I don't remember that I mentioned, but my wage when I went to Canada, it was $1 a day.
And that was in
And that was in 51.
51.
They were waiting for me in Canada. The new owner not only was a farmer. Now I think they were. You call them. They call them. They work for, like for the farmer, like half and a half or something. They were
like a co-op or
co-op, something? Yeah. So I end up not even go work for the farmer, I work for the helper of the farmer. And well, my first impression when I got in Canada, you can see different land, different air, different stuff like that. And so when I got in a farm, I remember, I think it was the first time somebody drove me in a car for about 20 miles, you know. I never went in a car.
That was your first time ever in a car ride?
Right, yes, of 20 miles. I went in a car, but for a short.
This was a real ride.
This was a ride, 20 miles. And I had the impression, you know, if they take me with a car for 20 miles, I felt like something, even though the same day that I arrived at my destination, I was wondering, you know, what type of people is, what they had to offer me. I was decently dressed and everything. Mm-hmm. And I remember one thing that it kind of discouraged me, or kind of, I got kind of a little beating. The guy say, I'm sure you're a little tired after the trip, because we got from Halifax, which is over 1,000 miles. It takes like two days train to go there. And he said, maybe if you're a little tired, tonight, he said, just go clean the barn. I didn't know what he meant. I mean, cleaning what? You sweep? What is that? I really didn't know exactly what he meant. So I asked the guy that he took me with a car. Must have been his friend or his cousin, somebody. He was not the owner who picked me up at the depot, where destination place. And I say, what is he? I go to him. You know, I took it when he said clean the house, it's okay. But I went to see the guys after a few minutes, and I say, what does he mean? What do you want me to do? Oh, you know, you say, they got about 20 cows, you know. So you get the fork, you have to clean everything, put it in the center. They got like a, I don't know how you say, a little dolly, a car that you move out and you undump it. Yeah. The manure, you have to clean the thing. And then you say you put just new straw, put all over new straw, and then you give a 2 pail of water to the horses. And okay, so I started to do this job, and I mean, I never did in my life clean a barn. But there you will see me with Italian shoes still. I didn't expect the rubber shoes or boots were not supplied by the owner. You know, I still had my own pretty nice dress. I had my shoes. Can you see me going over there? And I mean, in the evening, I think I was too. Well, while I gave him even water to the horses, one thing I was scared of that. You know, there was 2 horses. I had to go between them with a pail of water in the hole. And I always say one thing: even the horses hate the immigrants. I don't know how to say. I was very scared, given the water. But at the end of the day, that was the first time I worked the night. I got in my room. They give you good food, you know, abundant. They didn't deprive you, stuff like that. And then one day, I think I was lucky for the few days I was helping them. They had some wood, like a forest of wood, and they were cutting. So I was like helping, cutting the wood, and that was nice. But I think the third day, you know, they got me to work on the farm. They put me with 2 horses, and they say, you just, I don't know what they call it.
A plow?
Plow, something, yeah, plow. They say you just, you know, you go one, but it was a long one. It was maybe 1/4 mile. You know, you see me sitting over there. The guy say, it's easy. You just go straight, and when you come at the end, you pull this one here, and you go around, and you go up and down, you know. Oh my God, I was a little excited and happy, because, you know, it was not a big thing, and see me with those horses. I don't know if I would. Anyway, at the evening after the war, I think I don't cry too often, but I was in my bedroom by myself, and I say, you know, I had a little job because I worked in a lumber yard, like I was saying, and I was making a few bucks. The thing was improving gradually. My brother had a job, and things started to move, and I said to myself, what in the world I did, you know, here, I mean, I spoke a little English, okay, I can get by, but there's nobody around that can speak my language or nobody.
Aww.
And that was kind of sad, you know. Then I find out a friend of mine that he traveled with me. He had another farm. He worked in another farm, and he put me in touch with him. That was the best thing in the world that happened. So I talked to him, and we both got excited. What are you doing there? You know, how you...
And you were talking in
there was
Italian.
Really a new page of the life. This guy, he was working with a deaf guy that he didn't understand. And this guy, he was a player, like a Las Vegas guy, you know, good-looking guy, you know, and there he was. But since we got in touch, that was a good blessing, because he said on Sunday, when it's the time to go to church, you can go see him. You can go visit him, and you know what it is, the effect that you have, like you go to another country, there's nobody, and you find one guy that you know him. I mean, we hug each other. It's a, you know, we comfort each other.
Yeah.
So that was, after 13 days I was in a farm. This guy had connection in Montreal with some other people that they were smarter than we are. They were able to go, instead of staying on the farm, they went in the city and they find connection, you know, how and where and things. And those little corruption will always exist, you know, how to get because we were not allowed to work anywhere. We were supposed to stay 1 year in the farm at $1 a day. So the connection that I had with this guy was a blessing. So he found out that those friends, they were in Montreal already. So we spent, after my time working in a farm, for 18 days, I counted. And he gave me $18, I remember. And then I went, like Sierreville. It's a small city next to Ottawa. And there was we hear the immigrants, they were talking, you know, that they are they have different job, and you can change a job. So that was something to think about. So we find a job in Serbia near Ottawa to another place, and they was paying, instead of 30, they was giving us $45, and they were nice people. Well, not, they were French Canadian, but they were younger people and very friendly, very good. So me and him, we worked as a gardener like for 3 weeks. Then we got in touch with his friend in Montreal, and we got in Montreal. Then the whole thing changed. And after a few days, I was in Canada. I think a luck came that I met one, his name was Pauline, was a Furlan, an Italian guy. And he took us around looking for a job. And we find like one job, like a terrazzo, working for some Italian places. Some guys say, if you want to come, you know, next week, you can start work as a laborer. I work in the terrazzo. That was a good thing. But the same day, he invited us for dinner, this guy. He was a very nice guy. I don't know if God sent him or something, and I cannot refuse a dinner. You know, we were kind of, didn't know where and how. And we heard one lady saying that Canadair was a company, aircraft company, they were hiring people. So that was something. And this guy, he worked in the army. He was like he worked for the Air Force. So he knew a little bit about the airplane. He said, let's go down and make an application. So we made an application. And I remember I bet with this guy. I was so excited. I said, they're not going to, I never worked in aircraft. I say, I bet you $10 they're going to send me home. They're not going to take me. And I lost the bet because I had the job. That was probably one of the best days of my life. Getting a job for $1.02 an hour.
An hour?
An hour.
Wow, after you had made $1 a day, now you were getting, that's like, you got, all of a sudden you got it 8 times 8.
Well, it was no room and board. We had to pay $5 a week for sleep.
But still.
And I was paying 50 cents for lunch, I remember that. But, I mean, from there on, I had this job. My life started to change. Everything started, you know. After a couple of months, I met this young lady dancing. I had money to dress myself, to live like a human being almost.
And you had a job and a place to live,
and I was, and this go dancing, starts to go out in the evening, and finally I find this young lady there with another nurse, and I was another Italian. Said, let's go and ask them to dance. That's how it happened. And we danced one day. I think she was pretty sharp for me, a little better than what I was supposed to be bargaining. But it works. She gave me the phone number. That was something unusual. In Europe, no such a thing. A lady will ever give you a phone number. So I called her. So if she want to go dancing again, she agreed, and then come third time and fourth time, and it started to be a little more serious. We see that it was something, some chemical work for us, and my life changed quite a bit. And from there on, you know.
So she knew a little bit of English, and you knew.
She spoke English a little better than me.
Yeah.
And I spoke English maybe halfway.
So when you first communicated together, you were speaking English to each other.
Yes, we speak English. But then the French, everywhere we go, you speak French all the time on the job, and so gradually we switch and we're speaking French.